What is up, YouTube? So this is going to be officially the first video workout I'm doing in my own gym. Before we get to the workout though, I do have a little bit of explaining to do. If you watched my previous couple videos, which wasn't very many people, so probably not, but if you're one of the very few people that watched my previous videos, then you'll know that I just built this gym. I was actually planning on filming the whole process of building this gym from start to finish, from pouring the concrete to putting up walls, everything. And you know, I filmed clear up until we started doing drywall on the inside, and then I failed. I didn't film anything else, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Reason number one, and the main reason I stopped, was just when we started doing drywall. If you don't know, drywall is a very muddy, nasty, just dusty process, and I didn't want to put my nice camera in the room while I was getting drywalled. I was just worried that it was gonna mess up my camera. And if you've been around drywall, you know what I'm talking about, that it's not very friendly. You get dust everywhere, it's just gross. So I didn't want to film that. And the drywall, you know, I did most of drywalling work myself, which if you're a drywaller or a house builder, you'll probably notice as I show my gym that drywall sucks. I sucked ass at it. I did it myself. It's not good. But it is what it is. You know, I couldn't afford professionals to come in and do it, so I did it myself. And, you know, at least I have a place to work out now. Might not look the prettiest, but again, it is what it is. Like I said, the drywall took me so long, just between work and family life and everything else going on, that, you know, I planned on having this gym done in August, and it's now the middle of November, so I'm obviously way late on it. And after the drywall, it just got to the point where I was worried if I was gonna get it done before it started snowing outside. So I quit filming, and I just focused on building the gym. So if you're one of the very few people that were actually interested in how the gym build went or the process of it or whatever, I'm sorry, I did fail on that part. I am still planning on, I also said in my previous videos that I was gonna try to do a cost breakdown of how much it actually cost to completely build this gym. I do still plan on doing that. It's just gonna take me a little bit. I mean, I have a mountain of receipts in my house that I have to go through and actually figure out, you know, what cost was for what. And, you know, there's just so much little miscellaneous shit that I had to buy that it's gonna take me a while, but I will still plan on, you know, telling you guys how much it actually did cost to build. But I'm pretty sure it was somewhere between 25 and 30,000. Well, some of that's probably part of the equipment, I guess. It could be a little less than that, but with the equipment and all, I think I don't know, $32,000 into it. And I don't have nearly as much equipment as I want to have, but I ran out of money. So I have what I have. It's at least enough that I should be able to do most workouts most workouts I like to do pretty easily. With that being said, I just want to get that out of the way that, like I said, if you're one of the few people here that actually were interested in the build of it, sorry, I don't have any footage of that. But if you're someone who's interested in, you know, watching workouts and just watch my progress over time and want to be involved in that, then you're in the right place. So today, I will actually do a little short, I don't really want to call it a tour. It's not a very big building. I mean, it's not like it's going to take me 10 minutes to walk through it. I could literally just stand in one spot, pan the camera, and you're going to see everything. But I will give you kind of a little tour of what I got. Now, it's not finished. Keep that in mind. There are changes I want to make to the gym. Like the mirror, for example. I have a new, bigger mirror on the way. That's one piece. So I bought this mirror online, not really knowing what it's going to be like, but it's a 3-piece mirror, and it's wavy. It's not a very nice mirror. So I have a new mirror coming, and then I have some extra mirrors I might hang up in other places. I just got to figure it out. But the inside door trim, still got to get that done. It looks like shit right now. I bought a cover for the window. I did put a window in here, so the summertime, you know, if I wanted to put an AC unit in, I could, because it has no AC. But for the winter time and stuff, I just wanted to put a cover over the window to make sure there was no lighting coming in besides, you know, what lighting I have inside. So window cover looks like shit. It's a cheap Amazon thing, so if you see that, I'm gonna do something else with that. But like I said, there's little changes I want to make. I do have also one more machine coming that's not here yet. I found a Black Friday deal last night that I thought was a pretty good deal. So I got a pec deck coming that will be hopefully here pretty quick. But with that being said, so far we have dumbbells. As you can see, I just bought this from It's a website called SFE Fitness, and the dumbbells go from 5 pounds to 75 pounds. Now I wanted to go heavier, but if you have shopped for gym equipment at all or priced it, you know how expensive it is. And I really wanted a set that was 5 pounds to 100 pounds, but most of those sets I could find didn't even include a dumbbell rack. So those sets were like $5,000+ alone. And then you had to buy a dumbbell rack on top of that. And the reason I ended up going with this one is just because, like I said, it was 5 to 75 pounds and the dumbbell rack was included in that. And I think it was like $3,400. So don't quote me on that. Like I said, I'll have to find the receipt for everything, but it's pretty close to that. I will need some heavier dumbbells eventually, especially for like pressing movements like chest press. I can do more than 75s. So obviously I'll have to get something a little heavier, figure out if I can buy small sets or just even buy a pair of dumbbells here and there until I get what I want. But for now it'll work. They are cheaper dumbbells, but like I said, it came with a rack. I was happy about it. And honestly, they work, right? Next we have the squat rack, which is behind me. It's a Rogue full rack. And nothing real special about it. Just I honestly kind of wish I would have gotten a half rack, just because I bought some pegs to hold the weights on, but as you can see, that kind of makes the back part of the rack unusable. I mean, I can squat from it because I'm just the right height that I can put my hooks on there still, but I can't bench from back there because the weight hooks are in the way. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of things. Or if I want to do like bent over rows or anything like that, I'm gonna have to do that outside of the rack on the front of it. So should just bought a half rack, but it is what it is now. Have a full rack. Next, we have this Rep functional trainer. Now I want to say it was like $2,700, but functional, there's a lot of functional trainers that go up to like $5,000 or $6,000. I mean, you can find a lot for around the $2,000 mark, but most of them look like flimsy, or the weight stacks don't go as high, or they shake or whatever. This one just seems solid. It looked like it was good quality built. I've been enjoying it. So we have that. And then we also have this leg extension machine. I got this leg extension machine used. It's definitely an older leg extension machine. I don't know how old it is, but honestly, it's in pretty good shape. It's not perfect. It's got a little bit of rust here and there, and it squeaks, makes a little bit of noise. I actually bought some grease to try to quiet it down a little bit, but $700 for a leg extension machine, pretty good deal. And then, like I said, other than that, I have a pec deck coming. I also bought this just flat bench from Rep also. I think it was $500, but don't quote me on that. And then this treadmill I got from cheap on Facebook Marketplace, and I hate it. It's a shit treadmill. It sucks. So I will be upgrading the treadmill as soon as I can. And it works, so I can't complain, I guess, but it makes a lot of noise and it's just gross looking, honestly. I tried to clean it up the best I could, but needs something different. That's the gym tour. Like I said, sorry I didn't get to film the build of it. I really wanted to, the whole process of building it, but I just got to the point where I was getting exhausted on it and I just want it done. So, also, I don't know how this audio is going to turn out at all. It is pretty echoey in here. I'm hoping the mic does a good job at drowning it out, but again, I won't know that until I go to edit this video. I really hope the mic does a good job. If not, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get some wallboard or that foam, whatever it is, to help quiet it down in here. I was hoping putting all the equipment and the flooring in would help it quiet down, but it's still pretty bad. So if the audio quality sucks, I'm sorry. I will try to work on it. But other than that, we're gonna get into the workout. Today's workout is shoulders. So I'm gonna have a kick-ass day of working out. And again, I love the fact that I can just be in my own space, do my own workouts, not have to deal with other people, and I can play what music I want, and I don't have to worry about just anything. It's my equipment. I can treat it how I want, which probably nicer than public gym equipment gets treated, right? But other than that, let's get to the workout. All right, with all the introduction out of the way, let's just jump into the shoulder day. Now, typically with shoulders, I like to start with a pressing movement, and then I like to warm them up. So I'll do 1 or 2 warm-up sets of like dumbbell presses, what we're gonna do today. And then I'll also, which I can show you, but I'll also just do some rotator cuff stuff. Just try to get the shoulders loosened up and usually makes pressing feel a lot better for me. You know, especially my left shoulder tends to kill me every now and then. So if I warm up pretty good and actually rotate it and get it moving, that helps me quite a bit. So yeah, basically I'll just take this weight, and like I said, I'll rotate my rotator cuff back like this, and then I'll actually just do full on, yeah, I don't know what they're called, to be honest. I actually stole it from Chris Bumstead, so. But I just find if I do this for mobility wise, you know, just literally with a little bit of weight, nothing crazy, obviously. You're not really trying to do working sets or fatigue yourself. You're just trying to get them warm and loose. So as you get older, you know, I just turned 31. So as you get older, this really helps. And same thing with chest day. Like I'll honestly do shoulder warm-ups like this on chest day, just because, like, you know, if you try benching, like a lot of people, you know, my shoulders tend to hurt a little bit when I'm benching sometimes. So, but I find if I just take a few minutes, warm up my shoulders really well, big difference. With that being said, I think we'll do one more warm-up set with the dumbbells, and then we're gonna jump right into the heavyweight. Okay. Now, like I said, for my warm-up weight, like the first one, I'll usually do a few more reps just because I usually do pretty light. But as you're warming up, like, or even if you're not trying to warm up, if you pick up a weight and you think it's too light, like you can do like 5 reps of it, you know, just kind of warm up a little bit, but don't sit there and try to go to failure. You know, don't do 20 reps or whatever. Like if the weight's too light, put it back, you know, do 5 reps or whatever, and then put it back and move up in weight. You know, I know there is certain times for like higher volume, like you want to do lower weight, higher volume, and that's fine. But in my opinion, most of the time you want to do whatever rep range you're trying to target. And the same goes for high volume, right? Like whatever rep range you're trying to target, do the heaviest weight you can while hitting that rep range, right? So if your goal is 6 to 8 reps, well, you know, those 40 pounders I picked up, I could probably do those for, I don't know, let's just say 15 reps, right? Well, that's obviously way more than I'm targeting. So I need to put those back and go heavier. So just for like, if you're following a workout program, it'll usually tell you like what rep range to use. Do the heaviest weight you can for that rep range. I don't care if it's higher volume or higher weight. Do the weight you can do for that rep range. Oh, fuck. So, honestly, I lost track of reps right there. I think it was between like 8, 9, maybe 10. So, that's not bad. Honestly, right now for this exercise, probably anywhere from 8 to 12 reps I'm okay with, but probably closer to 8. So, I'll probably go up to 65s and see how many I can do those for, but wasn't bad. Felt pretty good. Oh, and I did want to throw out there as well that I'll see how it looks after this, obviously, but the lighting settings as well as the audio settings and everything else, I might have to adjust and play with. I just kind of set some settings on the camera and hopefully it looks good, but First time actually filming in my gym, so hopefully it looks okay. If not, like I said, I don't know how the lighting, I have a monitor on top of my camera, it's kind of making me look orange, but I don't think the coloring on the camera, if I remember right, the coloring on this monitor isn't really true to what the camera's actually capturing. It kind of makes it look more yellowish, so I'm hoping it's gonna look okay. But just wanted to throw that out there that I am, you know, when I edit this video, I'll make improvements as I go. Okay. God, I don't know why I'm struggling today, but I lost track of my reps again. But probably stick with that weight for at least one more, and then if I have to drop it back down, we'll drop it back down. Okay, I think that one was only like 6 reps, maybe 7, but which isn't bad. But I'll probably, for this last set, I'll probably drop it down and back 5 pounds to get the 8 reps again. Still couldn't do it, so we're just gonna do a drop set. So for this next exercise, we are going to do rear delt fly with the cable. And, you know, I used to kind of do rear delt stuff for a long time, or let me rephrase that. I used to somewhat do rear delt stuff here and there, but like I wouldn't do it every shoulder day. But, you know, over the years I've started or been training, and, you know, people I've watched and whatnot, they, you know, to build that shoulder up, you really need to work your rear delts. Like, it's very important. You know, it's a major part of your shoulder. It gives them that 3D look. So every shoulder day, whether it's 1 or 2 exercises, I'll always hit my rear delts now. Not necessarily in this order. You know, that's something else I'd also recommend. Like, don't go in and do the same exact workout every time, right? What I mean by that is, like, every shoulder day, don't walk in every shoulder day and do dumbbell press, rear cable flies, lateral raises, front raises with a rope, or anyways, don't do the same set of exercises over and over and over. Like, your body will get used to it. You want to mix up what you're doing every time. Maybe not every time, but every so often. Like, you know, if you do the same thing forever, your body will eventually get used to it, and it'll slow down your progress. So, you know, and if you're like me, especially like my own gym now, right? Like, I don't have hundreds of pieces of equipment in here, different stuff. Like, I'm pretty limited on what I can do. Say you can't do 100 different exercises for your shoulders, right? At least try to mix up what order you're doing them in, right? Like, where I started with a dumbbell press that time, and then I'm going to a rear delt fly. Maybe next workout, I'll start with, you know, a barbell overhead press, followed by some lateral raises. Or maybe I won't even start with the press. I typically start with the press just because I feel like that's when you're at your strongest and you can lift the most weight. But either way, I try to mix up the exercises, or at least the order I'm doing them in, if that makes sense. But for now, like I said, we'll do the cable, we'll do a rear delt fly. Whew. Yeah, that weight actually felt pretty good. I don't know if I go much heavier or not. Maybe I'll add 2.5 pounds just for the hell of it, but yeah, do that for probably 3 more sets and then move on to something else. I will tell you guys what though, already that is turning into quite a nice shoulder pump. Hell yeah. See, and that's one of the things I was talking about just a minute ago. Like this part of my rear delt right here, like that's what starts to show, you know, when you do rear delt exercises. If you don't have that, you won't have this definition back here. And then your shoulder just doesn't kind of have that 3D look. Now I'm not huge by any means, right? I'm not trying to say that it's super impressive, but I just know for a fact that like a lot of people focus on lateral raises and front raises, but then they won't hit their rear delts. So just some food for thought. Hit every part of the muscle. Almost forgot to add that 2.5 pounds. Whew. Fuck. Battery's gonna die pretty quick. I think that's another thing I need to get better on personally as well. I think my left side is a lot weaker than my right side. So I should really be, I try to when I remember, like when my left side's weaker, I'll start with it first. And then not so far off, so usually I can get about, I might be able to get like 1 or 2 more reps with this, but like I'd recommend if anything, start with your weaker side, do as many reps as you can. And if it's a pretty big difference, then when you do your stronger side, just match the reps, right? Don't try to sit there and, because otherwise your weaker side will not catch up to your stronger side. So no matter what, I think with most people, you're gonna have one side that's just a little bit stronger regardless because you have a dominant side, right? So it makes sense, but that's my one recommendation. If you have a weaker side, which I wasn't doing, so obviously I should take my own advice, but if you have a weaker side, start with that side, then do your stronger side. See, I'm learning. I'm gonna start with the left side this time. We're gonna move on to, I think we'll just do some lateral raises now. So, go do that. All right, so like I said, think we'll move on to some lateral raises with dumbbells. Don't want to try the 30s. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can do the 30s, but you know what? Fuck it. We'll try it. If we have to go down, we'll go down. I mean, you don't know until you try. Whew. You know, might not have been perfect form, but it actually wasn't bad. I think we're gonna try those 30s one more time, and then we'll definitely have to drop down 25s. But man, I don't know if I've hit the 30s. If I have, it's been a long time. I guess a little background. So I've been lifting for about 4 years now. Well, not quite 4 years, but close. When I started, I was 150 pounds. You know, I was kind of a skinny fat. I wasn't really fat, but I had no muscle and no definition, but I was only 150 pounds, so I'd call that skinny fat, right? But I'll try to throw a picture up somewhere too, so you can see what I'm talking about, but that's what I was when I started out. And then for the first basically 3 years of my lifting career, I bulked, and I do quotations because I was just trying to gain weight, but I wasn't really tracking my macros. I wasn't doing it very right. I was eating like shit. And eventually, towards the end of that, I hit 202 pounds, was my peak bulk. Which, again, that's 52 pounds difference, which is pretty good, but in 3 years, not that great. So anyways, I bulked up, and I'll try to throw a picture of that somewhere. I got fat. Like, I was just basically eating shit food to get the calories in, and I don't recommend that. Eat healthy food, just eat more of it, or at least healthy fats, you know, like don't sit there and just shove sugary shit in your mouth trying to gain weight. So I bulked, and then over the summer I kind of cut clear down back to 169, 170, and I just kind of maintained that for a few months. And now I'm trying to lean bulk right now, so I am trying to bulk, but I'm just not trying to do it so fast that I get fat, right? I want to keep some definition. It's my hope. You know, I'm happy I can actually kind of still see some, but I'm up to about 175 now, so I'm getting about 5 pounds so far. And yeah, I mean, not too bad for bulking still. I mean, there's a long ways to go as far as weight, but anyways, let's do another set. Yeah, like I said, that was too heavy to do 2 sets in a row, so we'll drop back down now, go down to 25s. Okay, I think we'll do one more set of that, and then we're gonna move on. Haven't decided. I might either do some front raises, or, well, either way, it's probably gonna be kind of a front variation, but I either might lie on the bench and use dumbbells and go forward, or just use like a rope with a cable and do it, but we'll see. Try to hit a little bit of that front delt. I will be honest, I don't focus as much on front delt workouts or movements, exercises, just because your front delt gets hit a lot. I mean, if you're doing like lateral raises, for example, it's hitting part of your front delt. If you're doing presses, you're using your front delt. You know, same thing with like on chest day, like when you're benching, you're using some of your front delt. So in my opinion, like your front delt just gets used so much anyways that, I'm not saying you can't hit it, but It's just not, it's definitely going to be one of the things on your shoulders that develops first anyways. So I just would say don't necessarily put so much emphasis on hitting your front delts, but do whatever makes you happy, right? I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what works for me. But you know, if you're the type of person that likes hitting your front delt multiple times every workout, go for it. Drop set. Oh, that's why heavy as fuck too. Fuck. All right, we're done with lateral raises. I think for the last set, we're gonna do a superset. And I think we'll do lying front raises, which I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll get it set up and then show you. And then probably also gonna do a little more rear delt. So probably just bend over on the bench with dumbbells and just focus on kind of rear delt flies. Yeah, anyways, so I'll get it set up and we'll do this last superset. All right, so this movement, you're basically gonna have your bench set up at like a 45 or maybe a little bit less of an angle. But we're just gonna sit up against it and take our dumbbells and do front raises like this. It's just kind of nice laying on the bench. It isolates your front delts a lot. Keeps the rest of your body kind of out of the movement. It just allows you to go up. Now, obviously one of the goals with this is you don't want to try to swing the weight. Like we're not just gonna sit here and swing it. We're gonna try to control it up, control it on the way back down. And, you know, I will admit, when I bought this bench, I didn't quite realize how wide it was. It's very, very wide. I'm not that big of a guy, so I kind of struggled to do some of these movements on it. Here pretty soon I'll probably have to buy another bench that's a little narrower just for stuff like this, but we'll make it work. Yeah, little fun fact. Okay, so we'll do probably two more sets of those, and then we'll call it. Maybe do a little bit of a Sam Sulek pump check. Anyways, on to the next set. I'd say my shoulders are pretty pumped. Pretty pleased. Pretty pleased. So I kind of lied just a little bit. I decided I'm just gonna hurry and finish up with like a front delt raise, just kind of a burnout set, right? Decently heavy weight, but not super heavy. I'm just gonna do as many as I can and then we're gonna call it. Sometimes I don't know, I throw something like this in just to try to make sure I fully worked out my delts or whatever, right? Just, I don't know. Like I said, my workouts aren't really structured, which I know bugs the fuck out of some people, and some people say you have to have them structured and whatever else. And you know, if that works for you, great. Not saying it couldn't work for me, but I'm the type of person that just, you know, I'm coming in on this shoulder day, right? I know what exercises work out which part of my shoulder, and then I just decide what I feel like doing for the day. You know, as long as I hit my front, side, and rear delt, like, no matter what exercises I did, I still did what I wanted to do. So, again, I'm not saying you're wrong for sure. If you have a structured workout with a set time and a set plan, all that shit, that's great. Just not how I function. I come in and do whatever the fuck I feel like. So, anyways, we'll do this little finisher here quick, and then we'll do kind of a pump check. Come on, bitch. Little rest. Gonna try doing both, and then we're gonna call it. Here we go. Come on. No, no shot. Alrighty. So hopefully this lighting's good. Like I said, when I go to actually edit this video, I may have to change a whole bunch of shit. I don't know, but we're just gonna kind of check out our pump here. Oh yeah. I'm happy to see all these striations, and you know, like I said, obviously I have tattoos over here, so you can't really see them, unfortunately, but all right. God, I love shoulder pumps. I don't look that great with my shirt off. I hope someday I will, but you know what? Let's do the full on. Let's get the full on Sam Sulek vibe going on in here. I am bulking now, so I'm losing my abs and shit, but it is what it is. Not that I had great abs to begin with, but I did have a little more definition than what I do now. So, holy shit. I'm dying. Okay. Oh. Now, like I said, I am bulking, so probably even gonna lose more of my abs eventually. But, you know, that's part of the game, right? I want to come on here and actually show my progress and, you know, show myself get better as I go. I'm going to do some cardio. I do try to hit my cardio. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but probably do 15 minutes of cardio. So, okay, so I filmed an outro already, but apparently my camera died, so I don't know what all it caught. Anyways, we're going to call that a wrap for the workout. Really want to thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please subscribe. You know, just it's going to help me out later on, and you know, I'm hoping eventually I can grow this channel into something great, and maybe even to a point where I can just kind of do this full time. That would be a dream of mine. That would be amazing. But if not, you know, if you enjoyed any part of the video, maybe even just like it. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. But yeah, just finally happy to have the gym done where I can fully work out in it, be myself, talk to you guys, do whatever I want without interruptions from people, and you know, I'm happy. I love it. So anyways, call that it for shoulder day. Feel like I got a pretty good pump going on, so very happy with it. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next workout. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.